season against some of the NBA's finest stars.
Mallory picks up Dumars. Lane Bear is open. John Williams helps out and blocks it. Stockton blocked by Darrell Walker, and he grabs it. Chapman against Darrell Walker spins, and CJ gets another one.
HTS presents coverage of the college basketball season with live matchups featuring the national team against Indiana, Connecticut, Georgia Tech, and Syracuse. Plus, we begin our coverage of more than 125 games featuring Georgetown, the CAA, Sun Belt, Atlantic 10, and Metro.
Latombo just left to him, gets a couple of rebounds, and slams it home.
The NHL plays on HTS more than a dozen times in November.
Here's a shot.
HTS tackles the exciting conclusion of the college football season, featuring bowl-bound Brigham Young, Notre Dame, Miami, and Florida State. It's a November to remember, featuring all this action and a whole lot more.
160 horses. That's what Chevy S10 packs into the biggest V6 engine ever put in a compact pickup. Enough power to help switch more truck owners to Chevy last year than to any other truck. The move to Chevy is becoming a stampede. More people are winning with. Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
If the chill of winter has thrown you into shock, it's time you asked yourself, what are you waiting for? You can pay for your new gas heating equipment right on your monthly gas bill and finance it with no money down through Washington Gas with no payments until June 1991. Get warmer. Call Washington Gas at 703-941-HEAT today.
Washington Capitals get goals from Joel Quenneville and Stephen Leach. This after the Boston Bruins open the scoring. And after 20 minutes of action here at the Capitol Center, lead the Bruins 2-1 here on Home Team Sports. And welcome back to Capitals Hockey. I'm Al Kochen, joined as always. Well, I guess we can't say always because last night, Peter Zezel pinch hit for David Boyle, who was down in West Palm Beach, Florida with, did you say, International Hockey Board meeting, is that correct?
It's a committee meeting. It's just a committee. It's with the Players Association and the NHL. It's sort of a joint venture when we talk about international hockey. And this is things representing like when the Capitals went over to Russia or the Soviet tour this year, or the upcoming Canada Cup or the World's Championships, those types of things. Any ideas for future international competition? And it's been a good involvement between the players and the owners, and I think probably some of the most memorable games that players have ever played in have probably been international games and some of the Canada Cups that I'm sure a lot of our viewers have seen before.
So I have two questions for you. One, was there any news made? And two, how come you guys never hold these meetings in Fargo, North Dakota or something like that?
Well, again, as anything that we do as far as news as it goes to the Board of Governors for the recommendations and for votes on, there's a couple of things that will probably come out at the December meetings. Again, as I went down there for a one-day meeting, I rushed back last night to have the big celebration, and I walk in the building. We unfortunately lost 4-2, but I'm not up that high in the pecking order yet, Al. I don't say where the meetings are going to be.
Well, David, as always, we'll be taking your phone calls at area code 301-499-6600. You made the comment coming in here, the walking wounded. You go by the Caps sort of meeting room, and you see more of your stars in there, it seems like, than on the ice with Hatcher, Zezel, Cicerelli, all these guys banged up and not in the lineup. And yet your team seems to be showing a lot of courage coming back and playing some great hockey without them.
Well, adversity and such things as injuries are certainly the true test. I know that's a little bit of a cliche, but every organization goes through that during the course of the year. Hopefully we're getting a lot of our problems out of the way early. It's great to see when somebody gets an opportunity, whether it be a young player like John Purvis that gets his first goal a couple of nights ago, or a veteran player like Joel Quenneville that really hasn't been given much of an opportunity here in Washington, and he comes out there and gets the first goal. And I mean, what a great story that could be for not only for him but for the Capitals if we go on to win this game. And you talk about a little bit of spark. I mean, the players really gave him more than the usual pat on the back for that goal, and everybody on the bench I see stood up. And that type of thing is what you need to really give the team a spark and to uplift it. So right now, while we got so many guys out, we do need some good things to happen for us and some other people to come through for us. And all I know is the guys are working real hard.
Let's head to the telephones. Paul from Georgetown, you're our first caller tonight. Good evening.
Yeah, hi. I have two questions, and I'll hang up and wait for the answer. The first one's concerning the last game. How did Tucker end up back in Buffalo? And the second thing is concerning HCS, I guess. Could Krager do a thing sometime on whatever happened to the plumber line? Thanks. I'll hang up.
I'm sure Craig would like to bring up whatever happened to the plumber line. That was Alan Haworth, Craig Laughlin, and do you remember the third plumber?
Greg Adams.
Greg Adams, that's correct. And they were a very effective line for us about 5 or 6 years ago.
Well, I know Greg is back in, I think, at Duncan, British Columbia. Is Alan still playing hockey in Europe?
He's playing over in Switzerland.
In Switzerland?
Yeah. As far as the first question is concerned, John Tucker, we picked up John Tucker from Buffalo last year. He did a real good job for us and helped us out in some of the scoring aspects down the stretch and in the playoffs. But we felt that we'd like to go with players that had a little bit more speed, and we felt that his natural position was center, and we were very happy with our center ice, especially since we've now picked up Peter Zezel. Interesting, one of the players that was taking John Tucker's place was going to be someone like a John Druce, and I think we've made the right decision for the future in that situation.
Let's head down to Portsmouth, Virginia. Bruce, you're our next caller. Good evening.
Good evening. We enjoyed down here at Hampton Roads Admirals, and we've enjoyed the support from the Washington Capitals. And we were wondering if maybe we'd see a few more players during the year, and how you came in association with John Brophy. And I'll hang up with that.
Well, thanks for the call. The Admirals are just doing great down there. You know, their crowds are terrific. We played a preseason game down there, and we've got a couple of players there. Unfortunately, we've recalled Ole Kolzig from Hampton, who's playing in Baltimore because Don Beaupre is hurt. Ole won his first game, incidentally, tonight for the Skipjacks in Moncton. We really are happy with our affiliation down there. I've known John Brophy for a lot of years in hockey. When I was with the Atlanta Flames, he ran our farm club in Birmingham one season, so our relationship goes way back.
Let's go to Bowie. Don, your next caller. Good evening.
Yeah, I have a question for Dave Boyle. When do you think we'll see Jim Matheson come up from Baltimore?
Jim Matheson is a young defenseman. He's a first-year player in Baltimore. Again, the Caps are pretty high on him. He's a young player that needs some time to develop, I guess, which we say about a lot of our players. He's a very aggressive player and actually pretty tough is what I'm trying to say. So he certainly is a guy that's going to fit into our plans. But what we're trying to do with most of our younger players is to give them that chance to play down there. And again, you can see what's happened like the John Druces or the Stephen Leaches, and it takes a little bit of time. And we're just going to let these guys play, and hopefully someday in the not-too-distant future, you'll get a chance to see Jim Matheson here in Washington.
Ross from Silver Spring, you're our next caller. Hello.
How long will Kevin Hatcher be out for?
Well, I'm not really too sure. The doctor just saw him tonight before the game, and he gave a very favorable report. I think Kevin is going to try it tomorrow as far as skating, and hopefully he'll be back very soon, maybe as soon as Wednesday night, and hopefully no longer than Friday.
And Maurice from Beltsville, Maryland. Hello, you're our next caller.
Hi, how you doing? I was just wondering about your moving your training facility. Was that going to happen next year, and where is it going to be?
Our new practice facility is going to be in Odenton. It's being built right now. The goal is to have it completed by midsummer so that the Capitals and the public can use the facility in time for training camp this fall in September.
Well, that'll do it for this edition with David Boyle. We thank you, David, for being with us, and we'll return with more intermission activity and a look ahead at the second period after these messages on Home Team Sports.
Yeah, we just scored. No, I didn't see Kevin get hit. Kev, you okay?
I wind up in the hospital, and Bob gets the winning goal.
I couldn't let Kevin miss the party.
I was having a pretty good time where I was.
Friends deserve the best.
Friendship. Just being there.
The crisp, clean taste of Canada's best beer, Labatt's Blue.
I have to be flat on my back to get Bob to buy me a blue.
Between friends, it's true blue. Labatt's Blue.
Hi, I'm Ray Gabler, a kitchen and bath designer. I've been with Sears for over 19 years. Sears can professionally design and remodel your kitchen from floor to ceiling. We offer a complete line of remodeling products, from custom cabinets, floor covering, ceramic tile, lights, and any plumbing and electrical work needed to get that job done. We've been in business for over 100 years and offer satisfaction guaranteed, as well as a financing plan for almost any situation. Contact your nearest Sears professional designer.
Hold it! Ho, ho, ho! So you're going to finally meet Cindy, huh?
Tonight.
Good. So first impressions are very important.
I think.
Okay. Now, imagine. Lights are low, the music's soft. Knock the door opens up. Somebody's out there doing this.
What is this? She's got dandruff?
No, you have dandruff.
No.
Yes, you do.
I shampoo every day.
Shampoo your brains out with regular shampoo. Wouldn't matter.
Brains out?
Yeah, well, so use that.
Head and Shoulders? Works for me, my friend. But you don't have dandruff.
Exactamundo!
Head and Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Owning the wrong car can be expensive. Now, these two lost more than $2,000 in trade-in value in less than a year. This Toyota, less than $300. And that could save you hundreds, even thousands on your next new car. Better resale value, low repair costs, trouble-free ownership. Probably why so many people drive Toyotas. See your Toyota dealer today. For Toyota value, the best deal going.
Home Team Sports coverage of Washington Capitals hockey is brought to you by Labatt's Blue, the crisp, clean taste of Canada's favorite beer between friends. It's True Blue, Labatt's Blue. By your nearby Sears Home Installed Home Professionals, the most trusted name around the house. And by Safeway. Come see the difference at Safeway. Interesting first 20 minutes of play. The Capitals on a late power play goal with a 1-goal lead over the Boston Bruins. Jeff Rimmer, Craig Laughlin back here on HTS. And Craig, Capitals overcoming an early 2-1 deficit.
They sure did. They got the lead, leading 2-1. They played extremely well. They played the same way they did last night, but they then converted their chances, and that's been the difference. They converted their chances tonight.
Let's get a look at our Head and Shoulders intensive treatment shot chart. Caps with 15 shots.
Yes, the Caps with 15 shots, but if you notice, all from the outside. 7 or 8 from the right side, 7 or 8 from the left side. But their one goal, their first goal they got, if we look at it here, there's 3 Bruins caught over here. Bonder made a nifty little move. He's then, Carpenter's coming across to get him. There has to be someone over here open. Bonder feathers a pass across to Joel Quenneville. Now, if you notice here, Joel Quenneville loses a puck a little bit. That brings Lemelin out on the wrong angle. He takes a big, hard shot. Joel Quenneville, top corner, up over his glove, into the net. The Capitals then get a power play goal. If we notice here, they've got a diamond set up pretty well. But the key for the Capitals, get the puck down low. And they did just that. Right down low. Ridley beats 2 of the Bruins, creates a 2-on-1 down low. Kelly Miller gets the puck, feathers it over, Bork stick, right to Leach. He bats it past Lemelin for the goal.
The Boston Bruins, as we said, they had that early 1-0 lead. Let's get a look at the Head and Shoulders shot chart. A total of 7 shots tonight for the Bruins in that first 20 minutes.
Yeah, 7 shots, a few right in the center zone, but they really didn't create a lot of chances for themselves. Capitals played very solid defense, only allowing 7 shots. When you do that against the Bruins, the type of team the Bruins are, they're a very good forechecking team. They create a lot of chances for themselves. They did, however, get 1 goal that period. The key is, if we look here, we've got Lawler, we got Johansson, we got Randy Burge coming across, creating a 2-on-1. But right here, they get crossed up. Nyland breaks behind, past Hunter. Johansson thought he had him. Nyland comes in, puts it 5-hole, past Liu for the Bruins' only goal of that period.
All right, what's Coach Terry Murray telling the Caps here as they get set for period 2, Greg?
I think he's telling them the same thing he told them last night. We gotta stick to our game plan. The Capitals have to check, get on the Bruins' defense. And they know in their own zone, Terry Murray's going to tell them, guys, we can't go around the boards. The Bruins' defense, sit against the boards, prevent the puck from coming out. That gives them their only chances.
Well, the 2 teams are making their way back out onto the ice. We make our way downstairs to Al Coker.
All right, thanks very much, Jeff. Happy to be joined by the governor-elect of the state of Connecticut, a former United States senator from that state, Lowell Weicker. And first of all, congratulations on your election, particularly how rare it is for an independent to get elected to a high political position.
Well, we made it, and now I'm afraid I have to become a full-time Whalers fan, which I've always been. But when I was down here in Washington, I saw the first game played by the Capitals, and I think Abe Pollin's done a terrific job down here. It's a great franchise, but at this stage of the game, we go to opposite corners.
Well, you certainly have a long hockey background in terms of your family. Your son Gray was a goaltender at St. Lawrence University, then played a couple years in the Hartford Whaler farm system. Were you one of those hockey dads, early practices, things like that?
I think his mother did more of that than his father did, but Gray was great. He was an All-American at St. Lawrence, spent 2 years in the Hartford Whalers organization, and figured 2 years of minor league hockey was enough, and he's on the floor, works on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. But it's a great sport, and I think the thing that I've seen change really over the years is because of the artificial ice, how many young kids can now play in the United States and go on to the National Hockey League, whereas in the old days we used to have 1 or 2 Americans and all the rest were Canadians.
Certainly seems to be a tremendous youth movement all around the Washington area. It certainly was that way in Connecticut. A number of kids, I know Brian Leach played at Avon Old Farms, a number of players who grew up in Connecticut playing hockey. Is that something that you'd like to see in your state, not only just in youth hockey, but in youth sports in general?
Well, you just can't beat the experience the kids have. And they've got great little hockey, little league hockey teams. Yeah, the answer is you put a kid into baseball or hockey or football, and believe me, you're going to have a fine kid.
Well, Governor, what do you expect from this second period here? Now, you get the Bruins, which I know a lot of people in Connecticut have a big rooting interest in the Bruins.
I hate to tell you, but before there was the Hartford Whalers and before there was the Washington Capitals, there was only 6 teams in the league, and I was a Bruins fan. So this is a very tough experience, but I can tell you right now that I think the Caps look great. They're going to have a fine season, I think, from everything that we've seen out here. In the meantime, I now have to forget about all these other allegiances and hope that my Whalers do a little bit better than they've done.
Well, Governor, we appreciate the visit. Nice seeing you again, and congratulations again on your election.
Thank you very much.
Governor-elect Lowell Weicker of Connecticut. Let's head back upstairs to Jeff and Craig.
And the Governor, Craig, talking about the young American players that have made their way into the National Hockey League. The Washington area has a great minor hockey program, and Craig Laughlin started the hockey school in this area.
I did start a hockey school, Jeff, and I hope to carry it on. I enjoyed teaching the little kids how to play the game of hockey.
Play underway. Second period here at the Capitol Center. John Druce on the backhand, flips it into the Boston end. Lemelin tees it up for Ray Bourque, team captain of the Boston Bruins. Leading the Boston attack to center. Long shot off into the corner, racing down the right wing. Dave Christian tipped off his stick by John Druce. The Bruins intercept behind the net, and the puck ends up all the way back in the Boston zone. Here's Weimer feeding it ahead, off the boards, back down into the Washington end. Katarnov first back to the Capitals. Feeds it along the boards. Pavanka clearing it back into the Boston Bruins end. Galley touches it as both teams change on the go. Cleared by Galley. Long pass for Dave Christian. His side of center. Fires it into the Washington end. Now Johansson feeds to Kelly Miller. Miller turns away from Byers. Ganny backhands it off into the open corner. Rouse is there for Washington. Bob Rouse. Off the glass and down the ice. Racing after it there is Sweeney. He's being chased by Stephen Leach. Byers for Boston. Feeds on the right wing for Janney. Ahead to Carter, intercepted by the Capitals. But back come the Bruins. Janney off his stick. Johansson's got it for Washington. Cross ice for Rouse. Feeding it ahead. Now Ridley looks for Johansson. He's got the Capitals defenseman who takes a hit, but not before clearing it down to the Boston end. Off the boards and down the ice.
Well, both teams playing the boards. Because they're cutting off the boards, they can't pass it into the middle. The Cap centerman picking up the Bruins centerman. You've got to go up the board.
John Purvis trying to get around Wesley. Purvis is dumped on the play. No penalty. Happening right in front of referee Rod Schick. Here's a lead pass for Neely at center. Fakes a shot. Bill Quenneville is there. Layute with a blocker pass save. Quenneville feeding it ahead to Hunter. Off the boards in the neutral zone. It's tipped off the stick of Purvis right on Lemelin, and Peterson's got it for Boston. Peterson. Cross ice for Ken Hodge. Hodge in over the line. Shot blocked by Quenneville to Purvis. Ahead to Dave Tippett, who backhands it to Hunter. Hunter in over the line. Takes a hit from Wesley, and the puck cleared into the neutral zone. Caps again. Try to enter the Boston end and do so as they flip it in. Lemelin. Leaving it there for Weimer, who beats to Neely. Back to Weimer. Off the boards in the neutral zone. Johansson tips it ahead. Neely tries to clear it in. Johansson stops that. Feeds to Alan May, and over the line he's got Kyprios. Here's a drive off Wesley. Capitals in front of the net, and Lemelin is knocked to the ice. The net comes off its moorings. Play whistle down. Sticks get high.
right through the crease, going for that loose puck. Lemelin had it in his glove, but he drove right to the net, knocking Lemelin and knocking the net off the moorings.
We'll take a break. 16:57 left here in the second period. Washington with a 1-goal lead.
Don't need Paris, don't need Rome. I'm having more fun sitting right here at home. I'm just a scratching, matching, trying my luck. Never had so much fun for a buck. Oh, what fun! What fun! Instant fun. The Maryland Instant Lottery.
Winning $10,000 can be a blast in Maryland's Cash Explosion Instant Game.
Well, Bob Rouse just shooting the puck at the net, trying to create a scoring chance. Rob Murray comes flying in, hits Lemelin, hits the net. The net goes off its mooring. Wesley's taking him into the net also. The referees looking there to call penalties against both teams.
2 minutes for roughing. For Washington, number 23, Rob Murray, gets 2 minutes for roughing and 2 minutes for interference. Time of the call is 3:03.
Well, the Washington Capitals, as you can see on the face of Terry Murray, getting the extra minor penalty. Murray 2 for roughing, 2 for interference. Lemelin 2 for roughing, all at 3:03. The Bruins are back on the power play.
Well, Rob Murray, Lemelin's got the puck in his glove after a Bob Rouse shot. Rob Murray just comes in, takes him out of the net. In that crease area, you can't really drive through that crease and take the goalie out. He took the goalie and the net out. Wesley pushed him. Lemelin got his stick there. He gets a penalty. Murray gets 1 for interference also. The Caps are going to have on penalty killing situation here.
And it's Miller and Ridley up front for the Caps in the penalty killing situation. Lawler will be on the blue line with Bob Rouse.
And one thing about that, we had Rob Murray on the show last night, and he said he thought the Capitals have to play a little more aggressive. And he's out there, he's trying to set a tone out there for that line to play really aggressive, and that's why he's out there on that line.
Weimer feeding to Bort. Ahead to Bobby Carpenter. Carpenter feeding it ahead to Neely. Didn't see it there. Ridley rides him off. Lawler on the backhand, clearing it out of the zone. Ray Bort feeding it ahead to Bob Carpenter. One-time Capital. In over the line. On the left wing for Neely. He's got Hodge on the right. Lawler is there. He is knocked off his skates. Play goes right on. Weimer clears it around the boards. Comes all the way back to the blue line. Bork tries to keep it in. Feeds it cross ice for Weimer. Weimer's drive deflected and Brett scores! The Bruins have tied it up.
The Bruins just setting up that power play. Bork doing a good job trying to keep it in at the blue line. That's really what made this play. He gets it over to Weimer. Weimer just shoots it down towards the net. And this line out there, Carpenter, Neely, and Ken Hodge Jr. creating some traffic in front of Liut. And it looks like Ken Hodge just got a piece of it. Ken Hodge Jr. got a piece of it, put it past Liut.
So the Bruins, taking advantage of the extra man situation, have tied up the hockey game.
And here it is again. Weimer just shooting the puck. Good hand-eye coordination. Deflects it right down, right over the top of the glove, catching glove of Mike Liut for the goal. And this Ken Hodge Jr. playing very well after coming over from Minnesota North Stars.
Play underway. Ray Bort. Feeding to Weimer. Back to Bort.
Number 11, Bob Carpenter.
Bob Carpenter gets the goal. The ex-Capital. You hear the crowd. Bort. Waits. Now carries in front of his own net. Lead pass to Ruzicka, intercepted by the Capitals. Here's to Tarnow, being it on the right wing for Bondra. Behind the net. Weimer turns away from Bondra to Brickley. Back. Ray Bort to Dave Christian. Christian, cross ice pass. Knocking it down is Brickley. He's got it. Pad save made there by Mike Leyer. Brickley takes a hit from Quenneville. Bondra comes back for Washington with Pavanka and Druce. Here's Peter Bondra in over the line. Feeds to Pavanka. Cross ice for Druce, and his slap shot goes wide. Now Brickley along the left wing with Dave Christian breaking. Takes the pass. Christian over the line. Fires a shot. Scores! 3-2 Boston.
to Dave Christian earlier today. He's changed his stick. He's playing center a lot more with the Boston Bruins. He's taken out the curve in his stick. So he says he can get a quicker wrist shot away. And he's coming off his off wing again, like so many players do in the NHL. And he shoots it short side past the blocker, Mike Liut. Catches Mike Liut on the wrong angle because he's an off winger. He's right shot playing the left side. Shoots it short side over the blocker. Dave Christian, former Capital, gets the goal. Go-ahead goal for the Bruins.
It is his 5th goal, and very quickly, 2 goals by the Boston Bruins, and they lead it 3-2. Coach Terry Murray's called a timeout to regroup.
The Capital bench, he's just saying, come on, guys, let's get up. We can keep it going. Let's keep it going. 2 goals. We still have lots of time to get back in this game. And I think the key here is that Terry Murray just has to say, settle the guys down. That's why he's calling the timeout. Settle them down. They traded chances there. John Druce, more often than not in this game of hockey, you get one good scoring chance at one end, you're going to get one at the other.
With this break, we'll take advantage of going downstairs to Al Koken.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Let's update you on some scores from the Washington Post scoreboard. Calgary leading the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. A 1-0 score now in the first period. Philadelphia on a Mike Ricci goal has jumped ahead of Vancouver. That game now in the second at the Spectrum. Quebec a 2-0 lead over Montreal in the battle for the province of Quebec, and the bragging rights there. And later on tonight, Winnipeg at Chicago. Let's go back upstairs to Jeff and Craig.
Bob Carpenter's power play goal from Hodge and Weimer at 3:03 tied it, and then the Christian goal, his 6th, has given the Bruins a 3-2 lead. Play underway in Boston zone. Sweeney makes a hard hit along the boards from Tippett. Clears it around, but not out. There's a shot directed towards the net. Cleared, but again, Rouse keeps it in. Knocked down by Janney. Feeds ahead to Carter. Carter back to Janney. Byers is on the right wing. Here's Byers in. Byers moves. Oh, and Liut gets a piece of him as Byers tried to tuck it in the far side. Rouse clearing it ahead to Tippett. Galley steps into his man. Johansson feeding it to Hunter. 2-on-1. John Purvis is there. Here's a shot by Hunter. Lemelin makes the save. Hunter feeds it back to Tippett. Blocked in front and cleared by Galley down the ice. Waller touching it for the Washington Capitals, icing the call, and the faceoff will come back in the Boston zone.
Well, both teams exchanging chances. First of all, Boston gets a good 2-on-1. They break out of their zone quickly. Janney and Byers. Byers gets a good pass. He's looking to deep Liut. Liut's over on the left side of the net. He comes across. Liut gets his pad a little bit on Byers. And the puck goes in the corner. The Caps come right back down on a 2-on-1. Purvis driving to that net. Hunter elected to shoot. Good shot. Good save by Liut. Lemelin.
Play underway. Ridley wins the draw. Gets back to Tatarnov. Tatarnov fires a shot that knocks Carpenter's stick from his hands. And Hodge clears the puck into the Washington zone. There's a shot directed towards the net. Waller stops it. Clears it off the glass and down the ice. Backhanded by Bourque to Carpenter. Cross ice. Weimer feeds back to Bourque. Bourque, cross ice. There was Stephen Leach for the Capitals to intercept. He's bumped off on the play by Weimer. Bourque's got it back for the Bruins. Bourque off the boards and down the ice. Racing after it there is Lawler. He's first back for Washington and clears to Ridley, who gives to Tatarnov. Tatarnov ahead to Kelly Miller. Leach is tied up by Burge along the far side. Miller backhands it, looking for Ridley. Neely's got him tied up and muscles him off to the ice. The late penalty upcoming. The Caps will be back on the power play. Kelly Miller, as Liut skates out of the ice, fires a shot high. Tatarnov now. The Caps got the extra attacker. Here's Quenneville's drive. Blocked by Rob Murray. Touched there by Neely. The Caps will have the power play. We'll be back right here on Home Team Sports. You're watching Caps hockey. Caps trail by 1.
Don't forget to change the oil.
Don't forget to change the oil.
Do it now. Don't forget to change the oil. Don't forget to change the oil. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now.
Honey?
Yeah?
We should change the oil.
update on the injury to Rod Langway. Apparently, Rod Langway suffered 3 different cuts around the eye on 2 different stick incidents on 2 different shifts. So because it is around the eye, the Capitals are taking great caution to make sure everything's okay. They still may get Rod Langway back, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's go back upstairs.
The Capitals on a power play. Randy Burge gets caught for boarding. He drives the player into the boards. When he's away from the boards, Ridley falls down, hits his head on the boards.
Play underway. Caps with the extra man. Bruins killing off the penalty. Gross feeds to Hunter. To Johansson. Back to Hunter. In front for Drews. It's off his stick. Sweeney's got it. And he carries to center, then dumps it in. Layut leaves for Rouse. To Johansson. That is blue line to center, looking for John Drews. He'll have to come back onside. Pavanka circles inside his own blue line. Pavanka turns away from Sweeney at center. In over the line. Looking on the left wing for Drews. Off a skate. Drews gets it anyway, but couldn't handle the puck. Cleared by the Bruins down the ice, killing out some valuable seconds. 1:09 left in the penalty to Burris. Here's Rouse. To Ridley. Caps changing the power play unit as Bork clears it off the boards, finds an opening, and is down the ice back in the Washington end.
Well, the most important pass on the power play is the first pass. Get it to a guy with a head of steam so he can carry it into the zone or shoot it hard around the boards.
Ridley trying to get around Peterson, tipped ahead. Bork's got it for the Bruins. He backhands right on the stick of Johansson. To Leach. Cross ice for Tatarnov. Tatarnov turns away. Still with the puck. At the face-off circle now. Feeds it cross ice for Johansson. Down low to Leach, and it's blocked by Bork. Ridley gets it back to Tatarnov. Tatarnov to Ridley. Mike Ridley to Tatarnov. No pinch in. Fakes the shot. Steps aside. Still fakes another drive. Moves right in. Oh, and Kelly Miller just failed to deflect it home. Ray Bork. Now with 7 seconds remaining. Falls to the ice. Tries to hold on. Then gloves it ahead to Carpenter. And play was not whistled down. Here it is, Leach with a one-timer. Knocked down by Bork. A lead pass for Burridge. Too far. Team's back to full strength. Johansson to Tatarnov off his stick. Murray bumps along the boards with Hodge. Neely carries in. Fires a drive off the blocker pad of Layut. From behind the net, Bruins in control of the Washington zone. Cross ice in front. Leach gets it for the Capitals. Clears to Kelly Miller. Ahead to Rob Murray. Murray dumps it in the Boston zone. Caps change on the go. Sweeney for the Bruins. Off the boards to Neely. Waller intercepts for the Capitals. Flips the backhander back into the Boston end. Sweeney wraps it off the glass and down the ice. Racing after it is quickly. Waller is there to take his man out of the play. And it's steered aside by Layut. Neely fires a shot right on. Layut holds on. 10:15 left to go. Caps trail by 1. And sticks get high.
Well, Alan May wants to get involved out there, pushing around with Gary Galley, pushing around with everybody. He's trying to get something going for the Capitals, but some great end-to-end action here, Jeff.
How about Ray Bork gloving that puck ahead, or gloving the puck ahead with his glove there, and now the Capitals thought play should have been whistled.
Well, Tatarnov gets a good chance here. He fakes a couple of times. He fakes. He's trying to get the puck to settle down. It was on edge. He finally takes a shot, wrist shot, just goes wide of the net. But Tatarnov, very calm at that blue line, waiting for his best possible opportunity. And getting back to that point, Jeff, the new rule in the NHL, if the puck is batted ahead in the zone, in your own zone, you can play the puck. They're no longer a whistle. So when the Bruins, when Bork passed it ahead to his partner or whoever else on the Bruins, the whistle does not go. And what that prevents happening is teams used to just put their hand on the glove, pass it ahead to their player, then the whistle would go. And what happened there? It kept the momentum of the Caps in the Bruins zone so there wouldn't be a face-off.
And you can glove it ahead.
Yes, you can, in the zones.
Here's cross ice pass off the stick of Sweeney. He's bumped along the boards by Rouse. Behind the net, Bruins set up shot in front to Galley. And a glove save made there by Layut. Caps come back down out of their own zone. Kelly Hunt. Here's Hunter to Rouse. Backhanded by Purvis. Hunter gets it right back. Dale Hunter to John Purvis. Purvis' shot is blocked by Hodge. Tipped ahead by Neely. Neely for the Bruins. Stops a pass and offside. On the left wing was a Bruins player. And they'll have a face-off outside the Washington blue line.
Don Sweeney, no relation to Bob Sweeney, the centerman. He's a smaller defenseman. He's from Harvard University. He's a good, quick defenseman. Boston Bruins get a good chance working down low. Brickley right out to the slot and a quick, hard shot right off the glove of Liut, but a great catching glove save by Liut. Liut right aware of the fact that Brickley was behind the net trying to put the pass into the slot area.
Rod Langway has returned as we get a look at Mike Milbury behind the Boston bench. The Bruins are leading 3-2. Ted Sater, assistant coach, former coach, of course, of Buffalo and the New York Rangers.
The only team last year were the Boston Bruins to get over 100 points. They had 101 points, 50 at home, 51 on the road. So they're a solid team, both at home and on the road.
Puck cleared back into the Washington zone. Tatarnov races after it, and he clears it along the boards for Bondra, who tips it ahead. Tabaka couldn't get to it. Wesley feeds to Byers for the Bruins. Cross ice, Bondra races after it, tips it back into the Boston zone. Byers on the left wing for Carter. Carter turns from traffic, backhands it into the Washington end. Langway for the Capitals, clearing it into the neutral zone. Bondra tips it ahead to Bruce. Palaka with it. Here comes John Bruce, ready to launch. Scores!
This is called being on a roll, playing with lots of confidence. Bruce just beats the defenseman, comes in, slides it under the fallen Lemelin. Big goal for John Bruce, but a good pass by Langway right up the center, just coming back from getting stitched up to Bondra. Bondra just pokes it ahead. Bruce coming full steam on his off wing, comes in again, puts it along the ice, right under Lemelin for a big goal for the Capitals.
Number 10 on the year for John Bruce. Bondra and Langway draw assists. We're all tied up again, this time at 3. Nick Kiprios loses the puck, now battles Nyland for possession. Caps try to clear the zone. And Ray Bourque feeds back to Weimer at his own blue line. Ahead to Burridge. Burridge in over the Washington line, has it kicked off his stick. Back comes Kiprios, flipping it off into the corner. Lemelin trying to steer it away. Alan Mays tying up with Weimer. Kiprios clears, but right out of the stick of Chris Nyland. Nyland with Burridge and Sweeney trailing. In over the line. Murray tries to get them. Here's a shot directed towards the net. Sweeney's in front and it's cleared off into the corner. Burridge knocked along the board by Bob Rouse. Nyland steps up. There's a pass back to the point by Weimer. Glove there by Layut. Steered ahead to Alan May. To Rouse. And the Caps have cleared the zone. Up back into the Washington end. Joe Quenneville for the Capitals. Playing in the absence tonight of Kevin Hatchett. Rouse flips it into the Buffalo or Boston zone, and it's right on Lemelin. Christian takes a hard hit from Alan May. They tie up behind the boards. Ruzicka feeding it ahead to Christian. Christian back to Gary Galley. On the right wing for Ruzicka. Looking for Galley, who kicked it off into the corner. Stephen Leach. Turned around on the play. Capitals clear the zone, and Tatarnov is knocked from his skates. Delay penalty upcoming. Here's Tatarnov in over the line. Layut is out of the net. Shot directed in front. Kelly Miller now with the Caps with an extra man. Turns away from Ruzicka. Lawler's got it. His shot directed towards the net. Hits Hunter in the back and play whistled down. Tripping is the call. And we've got another Capitals power play. Stay tuned.
Not long ago, one of the first Lumina sedans was bought by a family of 5. They said they liked the gas mileage, all the room it had, and they liked the price. Since then, the Lumina sedan has quickly become the best-selling new car name in America. Apparently, a lot of people are winning with it.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevrolet.
Now it's easy to win with a heartbeat.
The Capitals get another power play opportunity. Tatarnov carrying the puck up the ice, being hooked from behind by Ruzicka. Ruzicka gets a penalty for hooking, but Tatarnov took the liberty, maybe making a little dive there, Jeff, to create a penalty, but that's the key. You've got to create penalties like that. He does a little dive because he was being hooked and held from behind. Caps on the power play.
And Dave Christian drawing an extra 10-minute misconduct for arguing the call. As Rob Schick skated off to the penalty box, he was followed by Christian, who gets the 10 minutes.
And that's one thing I learned when I played, Jeff. You can talk to the official, but they never end up changing their mind. I mean, even if they were wrong or right, doesn't matter. They'll never change their mind.
Ryan Locker, you always showed people respect. Still do, once in a while. Pavanka turning away from Wesley. Wesley is dumped. And we're going to have another penalty call here. This one will nullify the Caps' extra man.
Well, Pavanka gets the hooking penalty, and the Bruins complain. They complain to Schick, so he gets one right back here. Pavanka on Wesley, pulls him down. Wesley falls down. Pavanka gets a penalty. They're now going to play 4-on-4.
You don't think that works, do you? Arguing a call and then maybe getting one back?
I think it does. Sometimes I think it does, because you're at the referee. He's looking for the next possible infraction, and right away he gets Pavanka, so now it nullifies the power play.
9 seconds. The length of the Capitals' power play. And without play, 4 skaters on 4. Little pond hockey here at the Capitol Center. From the draw, comes back to Langway. Rod Langway turns away from Carpenter, who slashes at Tippett, and they're both going to go. Rob Schick, I guess, wants to make sure he doesn't lose control of the hockey game.
Well, I think so. I think he's just going to call these guys. They both took a little whack at each other. They're both going to get penalties. But the Capitals, I talked to Coach Purpett before the game, and he said, you know, one thing they were going to work on more and more in practice is 4-on-4 situations. The Capitals seem to be getting a lot more 4-on-4 opportunities. Here's Carpenter, Tippett hacking a little bit at each other. They both try to hit each other. Both going to get penalties. The referee calls them both. The key is 4-on-4 is played man for man. The forwards have to play the defense for the Bruins. Defense have to pick up the defenseman coming in.
Washington number 14, Tippett, 2 minutes for hooking at
13-19, the time of the coincidental minors. Tippett for hooking, Carpenter for slashing. And we remain 4-on-4. Ray Bourque skates back to his own blue line. Now inside his own zone. Bourque, captain of the Bruins, being chased there by Ridley. Feeds it ahead. Neely to Weimer. Weimer cross ice for Bourque, in over the line. Bruins have their 2 marquee players on the ice here, Bourque and Neely on 4-on-4. Play whistled down as the net was dislodged from the moorings, and they'll quickly get it back on. There's the Gatorade bottle in the net.
We talked to Clint Malarchuk too last night, and he was saying that he thinks there should be different type of posts put into the net to prevent these nets from coming off as easily as they do. But as a forward, I sort of disagree with that, because when you're back checking or somebody slides into that net, you can really hurt yourself. I think it's a really good invention that they brought these posts into the game of hockey. It saved a lot of players' legs and a lot of players' careers.
For sure. Sweeney and Ridley set for the face-off to Layut's left. 6:14 left here in the second period. Bruins and the Capitals. You're watching it on Home Team Sports. And the draw. Galley feeds it in front. Off the skate of Ridley. He loses to Neely. Neely tied up now by Ridley along the boards. Langway steers it around. Back to the point. Galley quickly feeding it to Wesley. Off the skate into the corner. Sweeney and Rouse battle. Miller feeds to Langway. Rod Langway. Cross ice for Rouse. Ahead to Kelly Miller at center. Miller's all by himself. Fires his shot over top of the net, up into the crowd.
Playing 4-on-4 4-on-4, you try to get the man with a full head of steam. Kelly Miller, full head of steam, getting a long rink-wide pass. You try to go in under control. You're trying to play, when you play man for man, you can be creative, do some crisscrossing. Capitals in practice always work a drop pass 4-on-4. They're trying to be creative. There's more ice surface out there to work with.
Dale Hunter, John Druce up front for the Washington Capitals. Lawler and Tatarnov are patrolling the points. Ken Hodge, wearing number 10. His dad played for the Bruins, wore familiar number 8. Tatarnov backs away from traffic, tries to feed to Lawler. Has to come back to center for the puck. Here's Druce feeding back to Tatarnov. Cross ice for Lawler. Getting it ahead to John Druce. He turns from Hodge, circles at his own blue line. East to center. In over the line. He's got Hunter with him. Fires a drive. Over top of the net. Comes all the way back to Lawler at the point. Feeding to Hunter. Dale Hunter tied up along the boards. Hodge. Feeding it ahead to Wesley from center. Fires a shot into the Washington zone. Lawler being chased by Janney. Getting it ahead to Tatarnov. Misha Tatarnov in over the line, looking for Hunter. Intercepted by Weimer for the Bruins. Now ahead to Janney. 2 seconds, 1 second. Pavaka's back on the ice, and the teams are back to full strength. As Layuk tees it up for Tatarnov. Tatarnov leading the Washington attack on the right wing for John Druce. Druce looking for Pavaka. Off his skate, knocked down by Bort. He feeds ahead to Sweeney. Sweeney in over the line with Janney. And Ruzicka, who's cleared off on the play by Bob Rouse, kicked ahead. Bruins try to get something going in the Washington zone, but Pavaka feeds it on the right wing. Here's Alan May. Fires a shot, level on a stick save. Bob Murray steps up for the Capitals. Behind the net to Alan May. Weimer's got him tied up. Murray comes in to help out. Sweeney is there for the Bruins. They still tie up along the boards. Murray gets it free, gets it back to the point. Cross ice here for Johansson. Here's a drive deflected by Lemelin up behind the net. Now Kyprios. Being rubbed out of the play. Alan May across the goal mouth, and Murray failed to convert. Janney finds an opening, and it's down the ice. 3:44 left. As Johansson touches it, icing the call. A face-off back in the Boston zone. We have more second period action ahead. Stay tuned. We're tied 3-3.
To your car?
I don't have a car.
What's the gas can for?
Well, I'm thinking about getting one.
We're back here at the Capitol Center on Home Team Sports. The Capitals playing 5-on-5 now after some 4-on-4 play with more open ice out there. But I think, Jeff, now the Capitals just have to really bear down and really get the puck going. And playing 4-on-4, a lot of guys don't get ice time. Now they've really got to bear down, get the puck in deep, and really work those Boston defensemen.
Face off to the left, Reggie Lemelin. Carter and Pavaka do the honors. Carter wins the draw. Bruins control on their own end. Here's Byers on the near side. Feeding it back to Gary Galley. Bondra was there, tried to tip it off his stick. Rouse clears it back in the Boston zone. Lemelin leaving there for Galley. Galley getting some help from Brickley, but it's Galley who feeds it on the wing. Back to Galley. Almost intercepted by John Druce. In fact, he does. Backhands it ahead. Now Johansson to Pavaka looking for Druce. Skating in, and it's taken off his stick. Byers back for Boston. Ahead for Carter, who's tied up by Bondra and throws a hard check right there at the bench. Now coming back, but skating away was Bondra. Carter taking a little exception there from the heavy hit thrown by Peter Bondra.
Yes, Peter Bondra, good check on Carter. And Carter, he won the 7th Player Award for the Bruins last year, and we'll get right back to that. We have Al Koken standing by downstairs with some more updates.
All right, thanks, Craig. Let's update you on those out-of-town scores on the Washington Post scoreboard. Calgary with a 2-1 lead over the Rangers. That now in the second period at the Garden. Philadelphia still holding on to their 1-0 lead over Vancouver at the Spectrum. Rookie Mike Ricci with his 3rd goal of the year to provide that margin. Quebec has opened up a 3-1 lead in the Forum in Montreal. That in the second period. And just getting underway at Chicago Stadium, no score between Winnipeg and the Blackhawks. Our next game will be with the Chicago Blackhawks next Friday night. It's an 8 o'clock start. I'll have the Capitals report for you at 7:30 with the Blackhawks and Capitals here on Home Team Sports. Back up to Jeff and Craig.
And we'll get a chance to see Chris Chelios in the familiar colors of the Chicago Blackhawks. Of course, Chelios, the former Montreal Canadian, going over in the Dennis Savard trade. Tatarnov on the backhand, clearing it into the Boston zone. Lemelin tees it up for his defenseman. Missing a check there was Wesley, who feeds ahead to Brickley. Brickley in over the line. Brickley tries to feed it and does to Carter in the corner. Tatarnov ties him up. Puck squirts loose to Rob Murray. Murray off the boards to Kyprios at center. Kyprios bumped along the boards, but gets it to Alan May, and a stick save made there by Lemelin. Murray falls to the ice. Myers clears it ahead to Brickley. Brickley on the backhand. Ahead here to Carter, who knocks it down. Carter all by himself, looking for some help. Feeds it back. He goes back for it himself anyway. Carter was in alone and looking for some teammates. Otherwise, he might have moved right in and had a shot at Leu. Here's Hunter turning from traffic. Neely feeds back to Bork. On the wing for Peterson. Ahead to Carpenter. Carpenter winds up. Glove save there by Leu. Juggles and leaves for Lawler. Lawler to Tippett. Clears it back into the Boston zone. Weimer off the boards, out of the stick of Lawler. Play whistle down. 1:37 left here in the second period. We're tied.
Dale Hunter, he likes these type of games. Former Quebec Nordique, playing for the Nordiques. You really get to dislike the Bruins. You want to beat the Bruins every time you can. Dale Hunter's used to playing against the Bruins. He's a gritty forward, playing very well at center, doing a little penalty killing, working the power play, getting lots of ice time for Coach Murray.
Little discussion just outside the blue line involving the two linesmen, Bozek and Vines. And we'll have this face-off just outside the Boston blue line. Ken Hodge with Carpenter and Neely flanking him on the wing.
And talking about Bobby Carpenter, he's got 6 goals in the last 8 games. But he didn't score his first goal until the 10th game, he was telling me, and it was into an empty net.
Bob Rouse clearing it into the Boston zone. Oh, hard hit thrown there by Galley on Leach. Bruins out of their own zone from center, cleared in by Carpenter, wrapped around on the boards. Hodge takes a hit there from Rod Langlois, caps control, and cleared into the Boston zone. But a 2-line pass and an offside call.
Stephen Leach really picking it up a notch. How he's changed his play is that he's not cutting into the middle very much anymore. The start of the season, Terry Murray was getting on him because he was cutting into the middle. When you cut into the middle, you take away a lot of the ice that your centermen and your other wingers are going to have. Terry Murray wants Stephen Leach, because he's so big and he's real strong, to drive along those boards and beat those defensemen wide. That creates penalties and it creates scoring chances.
Dale Hunter with Tippett and John Purvis on the wings. Sweeney doing the honors for the Boston Bruins. He's got Burridge and Nyland flanking him from the faceoff. Caps win it, but Bruins control. Cleared off the boards by Gary Galley into the Washington end. Rouse touches it, and another faceoff. This one will come all the way back in the Boston zone.
And there's a familiar friend to both of us, Jeff. Chris Nyland, former member of the Montreal Canadiens. When I first broke into the league, I played with this guy. He gave me a lot of room out there, Jeff. I'll tell you that. I played left wing. He played right. He gave me a lot of room on that ice to get a few goals right off the bat with the Montreal Canadiens. He's a tough, hard-nosed guy. He's from Boston. He likes going back to Boston. His family's there. Everybody roots him on when he plays in the Boston Garden.
Chris telling us on Al Koken's pregame show that he was apprehensive playing in the Boston Garden for the first time as a member of the Bruins. Didn't know how the fans would treat him, but it didn't take long. The Boston fans to certainly warm to Chris Nyland. Less than a minute to go here in the first period. Sweeney turns away from traffic, intercepted by Dale Hunter. Hunter flips it back in the Boston zone. Gary Galley beats cross ice. Sweeney ahead. Too far for any of his Bruin teammates. Nyland races after, but Johansson is there first. Feeds it ahead. Bruins try to get something going with 33 seconds left in the period. Hops over the stick of Ray Bork. Alan May was there for Washington. Bork gets it behind the Boston net. On the wing for Nyland, who backhands ahead in the neutral zone now. Sweeney fires a long shot, gloved by Layut. Cleared around the boards to Leach. 15 seconds remain here in the second period. Tied up 3-3. Dave Tippett for Washington. Feeds to Johansson. Winds up with a shot way wide. Cap change on the fly with 6 seconds left. Pumping along the boards. Kelly Miller turns away from traffic. Takes a hard hit from Nyland. Here's Ray Bork. And there's the bell to end the second period at the Capitol Center. The score, the Washington Capitals 3, the Boston Bruins 3. This is the Home Team Sports Television Network.